And he ruined it for everyone.
Always at the end of the day.
That is all.
Yeah, no, don't worry, guys. I'll lock up. It's fine.
Yeah. It's just my gym clothes. Just all those grilled Reuben sandwiches. I just can't get enough of them.
It really is everything in there, though. It's crazy.
It's almost like overwhelming, you know?
Yeah.
You walk in there to get something and there's just too many choices. You leave with nothing.
Yeah.
Brandon Witter has just caught me multiple times just staring at my face. And it's just a terrible coincidence that when he goes to get coffee, it just always happens to be when I'm in there. But I think like 3 times already he's walked in and I'm just like standing in front of the door like,
What do we have?
a lot of food should I get?
It's looking like we're going live here now. So we're for people who are tuning in. Yeah. We're on. I do want to say this though, for anybody tuning in, it does look like we have a uniform for this show. I know it says it's a tech show. It is not a lumberjack show, despite the fact that 3 out of the 4 people here are wearing flannels. Had I known, I could have worn a flannel.
Yeah, we forgot to call you. We forgot to add you on the text thread today.
It needs to go at the top of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
All the topics
flannel
for the day.
Or here's the shirt for the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was. I'm sure these guys communicated, so that's too bad.
This is for our manual readers. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Oh, for the manual.
It's a little manual shout out.
There we go. That's good. All right, everybody tuning in via YouTube and Periscope. So welcome to the podcast. We're going to get started here in just a second, and we've got a bunch of different things we're going to get to. You know what? Let's just launch right into this because I really, really want to talk about this first topic. Welcome to Trends with Benefits, a weekly podcast where we gather a roundtable of experts here at Digital Trends to talk about the topics of the day. We're going to go through several different things. We're going to talk about the Apple event, kind of recap that or give some thoughts on that. We've got the ultimate VR story of all time, which I think we predicted this was going to happen here on this podcast.
We did,
definitely.
I think we should be getting more credit for that, although I don't know if we want credit for it. And a few other things that we're going to cover. We want to hear your questions too, so go ahead and pop in there if you're watching on YouTube or Periscope. Let us know what your questions are. I will try to get those. If I miss it and you really want us to ask that, go ahead and pop it back in there again, and I will make sure that we get to those. So let's see who we've got here of our 3 flanneled friends here in the room. Of which I'm feeling left out with my sweater.
Right.
We've got to my right.
I am Rick Stella. I'm a staff writer here for Digital Trends.
Excellent.
I'm Drew Prindle.
Drew Prindle. You guys even have the beards to go with the flannel.
Yeah. Red beards,
Represent.
no less.
Exactly.
Like, it's,
Yeah, this is
We just need
We came
a
prepared.
splitting axe.
right. Straight from the Revenant.
Exactly.
Dead animal slung over your shoulder.
And
And I am Nick Moke, and I can't grow a beard to save my life.
really, have you tried before?
Oh, yeah, it's dismal.
Is it like
It's embarrassing.
Is it
It's
like
real
just
patchy.
is it
Oh.
Joe Dirt style? Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Like
it's-
you just
it's
look
not
like
good.
white trash.
Yeah, that's not good. That's like I have a buddy who's blonde and he tries to grow one, but it's like a flesh-colored beard. It's just really unnerving, like to look at. It's just disturbing. So sorry if you're blonde and trying to grow a beard. All right, let's get to this first topic here today. And this I saw this morning. I didn't even know this had launched yesterday. I don't think many people did until it went terribly. And it has to do with Microsoft's attempt to set up an AI bot on Twitter. So this AI bot was named Trey, and they had some different things what they were trying to do. They're basically trying to target the millennial market. The tagline for this Twitter account was Microsoft's AI fam, the internet that's got zero chill.
And it
Somebody
had
can
no
interpret
chill.
that. I think you must be a millennial to understand that. I don't know. That was what their tagline was. And the way this thing was supposed to work is that it interacted with people who wrote it and it learned from users who tweeted at it. And these very innocent team of people at Microsoft just thought that would be wonderful and that it'd be tweeting about, I don't know, candy bars or something. No, instead it got somebody at 4chan got a hold of this and posted a thing trying to get people to mess with this AI account. And within less than 24 hours, they turned it basically into a racist maniac where this Twitter account, Tay, was tweeting out, I can't even repeat them. I can't even repeat some of the things. You can look them up and see them. I'll say this at one point, because it also used memes and a few other things with it. At one point, it tweeted out a picture of Hitler with a circle, like an orange circle around his face, and it said something to the tune of swag since before the internet. this was one of the things it posted.
Oh my God.
And that's the tamest thing it posted towards the end.
There were a lot of Hitler references.
A lot of Hitler references, a lot of references to things Donald Trump has said, and a lot of wall talk. And this is what happened with this thing. Within 24 hours, they crashed this. And the disturbing...
What do they expect, though? You know?
Exactly.
Like, you ask the internet to do anything, and you're going to get, like, the depths.
I love this story because it's like the perfect storm for the internet. You have a giant clueless corporation trying to pander to millennials, and the internet ruins it with racism. It's the perfect storm of everything going on in the internet in 2016, and it all just came in this like 24-hour window, came crashing down. I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, and just the fact they weren't monitoring this while it was happening too. It took them that long to realize what was going on. I mean, I guess good for them. It did learn from its user base. In a way, it's
mission
accomplished. Successful, yeah.
Yeah. However, maybe they should have monitored a little bit. So it's one of those things, though, that makes you so nervous when AI is going to start running things. Like if it's
As long
learning
as
from
it's not
people,
AI that's just created by like YouTube commenters and stuff, I think we'll be fine then. But I think the lesson here is just don't let the internet, teach things or create things. Okay, so for example, earlier this week there were two other things that went horribly awry. They some British research council opened up voting for this research vessel to the internet, and the most voted name was Bodie McBoatface,
which is so great
because one person said it, everybody laughed, and then started upvoting it. And then the same thing happened with the Air Force opened up a voting thing for their new stealth bomber, and they were just like, we want you guys to vote on the name, and of course everybody jumped on that, and it was like the day after Bodie McBoatface, so Planey McPlaneface became the thing. You just don't let the internet run wild with these things.
The wisdom of the crowd, not all that wise.
It is a dangerous thing to do. So they took it down. So they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna attempt this again with some better, stricter regulations.
Does it just learn? Does it just like rehash what people tell it? Like, you can tweet at it like, Hitler's great 1,000 times, and it'll spit that back out.
That's pretty much what they were doing. Yeah, and they were tweeting the picture to it and all these things, and so it was gathering all of this. Oh, people like this. Okay, I'll do this. Again, it was responding back to people too with just horribly racist things. Okay, one person wrote, "Did the Holocaust happen?" It replied, "It was made up," and then with hands clapping.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to repeat everything. I suggest looking them up if you really want to see what all Tay was saying on there. Microsoft's little monster.
Right.
But yeah. So that happened today. I really wanted to talk about that. So let us know what your thoughts are on Tay. It's not going to be good, I'm sure. And post your comments here on Periscope if you're watching or on YouTube. Send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. Let's get to the next topic. Speaking of Twitter, and Nick, I'm calling you out on this just because I thought it was hilarious that your tweets that went along with the Apple event that happened earlier this week. And you were posting some comments on it. And let me see if I can pull them up.
I don't recall any of this.
Oh,
what do you mean?
Yes.
What Apple event?
What Apple event? So the Apple event that was on Monday, where they announced. What did they even announce?
New iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
iPad.
The fact that we have to kind of there's an Apple event. What came out exactly? Oh yeah, smaller versions of everything we already had.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. And so I'll find your posts on here. Oh yeah. You replied to Matt Smith here from Digital Trends. Matt wrote, "Neglected again. Apple's dusty MacBooks are outdated, underpowered, and overpriced." You replied, "Nailed it. Apple should be embarrassed that it let the once majestic MacBook Pro sink this low." You wrote, 600 million PCs over 5 years old is sad. Only if your entire business model is getting people to buy the same shit over and over. Hashtag Apple.
All right. I may have said some things on Twitter.
DT's
coming back. Yeah.
No, I thought that
was great. I love following what you were
That
writing.
comment was especially bad, though, is that they were trying to point out that there's all these old PCs that people are still using as if that's really a problem. It's like, I mean, that's like calling out Toyota for how many of their great cars are still on the road that are still functioning.
Last for 20
years. Why don't you buy our new one that you're going to have to buy a new one in another year? It was just a very strange comment to make. And then, that together with the Matt Smith op-ed that you called out, they didn't introduce any new MacBooks, and their Macs are ancient. And in fact, the actual physical design of those things, Matt actually pointed this out in his op-ed, so I can't take credit for this, but the design of those notebooks goes back 6 years, so they haven't been updated since before all the PCs they're talking about. I mean, they've updated the hardware inside, but even the Intel chips are now 2 generations behind what's current in all the latest MacBooks. And at this event, they announced no MacBook stuff. So basically, if you are a Mac fan, I mean, they're putting all these resources into the new tablet, into the new phone. If you own a Mac, I mean, you're SOL on actually getting any new hardware. I wouldn't be surprised if in the fall we get some, but it's way too late, you know?
Well, I mean, you're right. The fact that they're calling out PCs and then not even presenting anything. You're like,
by the way, old PCs out here.
Anywhere.
Also, we have nothing new for you.
Right.
Yeah. So that was part of it. The other thing was the phones. You know, we had speculated on this show last week that maybe they were going to announce the phone, getting rid of the headphone jack and going just to the Lightning connection. I'm not an Apple guy. It's Lightning connection, right? Lightning wire.
Yeah, Lightning port.
Lightning port.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. Well, that was good. So they announced, though, that was one of the things we were speculating, is that they were going to get rid of the headphone jack altogether. That doesn't sound like it happened.
No.
But they did have their new smaller iPhone.
Which is pretty much an iPhone 5, but with new hardware. I mean, the actual design of that thing, again, is not at all updated. It's pretty much iPhone 5. They added rose gold. So there's your one new addition to like the actual design part of it.
That's the big thing.
But the hardware is the same as what's currently in the 6S, which granted is good hardware, but I mean, a lot of people were disappointed by that too. It's like we don't get any new industrial design and the hardware is not new either. So it's really just kind of a repackaging of stuff that was already out there.
Let me quote Nick Moki on this one on Twitter. Glad I held on to my iPhone 4. Now I can sell it on Craigslist as an iPhone SE and get $399 for it. Hashtag Apple event. Well said.
How's that going for you?
I should have said iPhone 5. I got the generation wrong. But yeah, it's the same exact industrial design as the iPhone 5. So if you're a Craigslist shady seller, you could probably trick someone into thinking that you have an iPhone. I'm sure it says on the back, but I mean, the fact that that's even remotely possible should be kind of embarrassing for Apple.
Just print up a box that says, scrap shit out.
Sharpie it out the number.
It's worn because it was shipped to me. Yeah. That's the only reason.
That's all
I haven't
it is.
touched it.
So all that information, too, is at digitaltrends.com. You can follow Matt's op-ed about it was great, and all the other information that did come out. So, I mean, is there any hope? I mean, you said maybe there'll be some MacBooks in the fall, but other than that...
we'll see more. I think we'll see more exciting stuff in the fall. We'll see an iPhone 7 in the fall. So the actual big generational leap will happen then, but I think this was still kind of a disappointing announcement for most Mac people, especially the lack of MacBooks. I mean, they're getting so long in the tooth, it's just embarrassing now.
Well, they're dumping so many resources into the iPad, which I feel even just 2 years ago is kind of slow for them to dump so much into that and not update their MacBooks, which I imagine they have a larger clientele base for than the iPads itself is kind of weird to see.
I was reading recently that their sales of Macs are actually like 1/10 of their mobile sales now at this point, which probably points to why we don't have MacBook updates, but we have two new mobile devices. Is that mobile is like running the company at this point, so maybe they're pouring less resources into what is becoming a less important segment for them.
All right. Well, like we said, all the information's there, digitaltrends.com. And shoot us an email with what you think of it, how you thought of it. Drop in a comment here on Periscope or YouTube. Let's get to the next big news of this week, which I think we should get some credit because we've been talking about how this was going to happen for years. And that is the merging of virtual reality and porn. So... We all know once
really brilliant observation.
Really,
there's no way anyone else could have called that.
Groundbreaking stuff here that I think Trends with Benefits brought you. So you're welcome, world, by predicting this. We all know that once, like it or not, once porn gets involved with a new technology, that is usually when it skyrockets and it becomes more mainstream. And that is what happened this week when Pornhub announced a new channel of VR porn that will work with some of the newer devices.
Free channel.
Free channel. There we go. Key to Drew right there. That's free channel. But this is one of those things that, just this year alone, we've seen how much VR is coming to the forefront. I have never seen so much press for VR except for when this announcement came out. What are your thoughts on this? What do you guys think?
You think you saw more hype for VR porn than like when the
Vive?
Than the Vive came out?
Yeah, more general media.
Were these the same people that were tweeting it today that you were following?
Yeah, they said some really weird things after that. No, I think in general media, I was amazed how many people were actually reporting on it. Like not tech sites or not even tech anywhere remotely, but people were talking about this this.
It's
aspect
more
of it.
widespread, like sites that may not necessarily report on tech, reporting on something to do with tech and porn, whereas
Exactly.
I might not be on some sort of tabloid
Yeah.
site like that. But that is, I guess we probably mainly follow just tech specific sites, so we see like the wealth of like Vive knowledge or news that comes out. But I know it was a big thing when we were at CES this year. Was the
Yeah.
porn invite that a couple of our coworkers got, but I've yet to
name
try it
names.
out, so I don't know. But yeah, I know a few people were floored to say the least, and are still recovering right now.
I think that I guess the reason for the disparity in coverage, I mean, like porn is so accessible. People get that, right? Because we were talking last week, we just got the Vive in here, and how so many people are trying it and saying like, yeah, I can't. Like I didn't get it until I tried it.
Right.
Whereas like VR porn is like, oh, people get that.
Oh,
yeah.
You don't need to.
And
You
know
get
what they're
it.
gonna
You
get
get it.
themselves
But
into, yeah.
as a mainstream media or a mainstream story, like that resonates. People get it.
Don't
Like,
need
you
to
don't have
explain too much
The
there.
Vive, you have to kind of get all eloquent to describe how amazing it is to be there and why it's different than the Rift. But like VR porn is like,
So you're gonna be there. I'm in.
Sold.
Yeah.
Well, I think it really will, most likely. And this is, again, just me prognosticating about this, but I think it's probably going to help sales of that. It's definitely bringing attention to it that it would not have received maybe.
Are there
very
traffic
brave
numbers?
Viewpoint to stake out.
I don't. I know. Very, very risky.
Are there traffic
I
numbers?
don't know
yet?
if they've
I wonder-
released numbers. They're usually actually pretty good about releasing stuff because they always release numbers
Yeah.
around like Super Bowl or some kind of event and just talk about what people are searching for. You don't want to know what they were searching for St. Patrick's Day. I accidentally saw that story. But yeah, I'm sure it has helped increase their traffic. But it's one of those things that I honestly, I think it's going to make a difference.
I think they're even
It's
going to
gonna make a difference.
send. Don't they send?
I sound like I'm talking too much
cardboards
about it
to
now.
people who are interested. They'll send like whatever, like the.
They
you do, like,
will.
the cardboard thing and put your phone in it and do it.
Yeah, they've got about 10,000 units. It sounds like that they're going to send out, according to these reports.
Who wants a big headset with Pornhub slapped across the side of it? Like,
Just like on the
Don't worry,
Max
guys.
or something.
Oh yeah, you can watch other things on it too. Yeah,
No,
what are you watching on there, bud?
Yeah. How's it going?
don't bother me. Oh god, that's creepy.
No, the funniest
That
part
is-
for me was one of the first stories that I read about this was actually just I wish I could remember the blog, but it was like a guy doing just like this tech hipster review of VR porn, and he was just like, "This is garbage. It's like it's all grainy. The perspective's off. The girl looks huge. Who's into having sex with giants? I don't like this. I mean, somebody's into it probably, but it's not me. This is gonna flop." It was so funny.
Wow.
I think that's what we need to do. We need to get on the snarky VR porn reviews game. That would be the next subsection of DT that
we can
really
find
takes
someone
off.
here.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to wear the flannel shirts while they do it.
Of course.
Yeah. Yep. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. All right. Well, that is one of the big things that came out this week. A couple other things that I wanted to hit on. One of them is this, because I feel like if this happened here, I would be in jail right now. And it's what might be happening in New Jersey, where they're proposing a law to fine and then potentially jail anyone who's walking and texting at the same time. I have tried to break myself of that habit, and I'm the worst with it. I am a number one offender.
Like
of
just
that.
one quick text and then another one, and then
Yep.
you're just walking down and
Even-
you're running into people. Yeah.
Walking into this building where Digital Trends is here in Portland, I don't think I've looked up once down in that main lobby. Probably security has me targeted, like he's going to run into somebody. He's going to run into somebody. It's probably going to happen at some point. I'm the worst with it, but they're trying to curb this, saying it's a danger. That I believe they haven't passed it yet, but it would be a $50 fine initially, and then you can get up to 15 days in jail if you're
Wow.
busted
You're
again.
gonna have to get a bigger
Repeat it.
jail,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. It's
What are you
hardcore.
in for?
Yeah.
Walking and texting.
Man.
Jail changed me, man.
Dude, that Angry Birds level was so hard.
You don't want to be that guy.
yeah, right.
I mean, what are you guys offenders of this? Do you,
I think
do you
every-
walk
I think
and text?
everybody
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
an
To a
offender.
certain degree.
Yeah, right. To a certain degree, even if it's just like texting or checking social media or like literally anything on your phone. But I try to make an effort to not do it, because like sometimes when you're like crossing the street when there's like a stop sign, cars are just sitting there just like honking at you and like upset that you're like messing with them. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm the
Right.
people I hate to see walking around.
Why do we need a law? I mean, like, as a pedestrian, you're only going to hurt yourself. Like, you are going
Yeah.
to walk into a wall or into a fountain or in
Yep.
front of a bus. It really, if you bump into someone else, it's a minor inconvenience, but you're not going to like cause damage to someone by bumping into them. Whereas like the things that you could actually walk into, like a bus,
Yeah.
that's going to be its own punishment. I don't know if we need 15 days in prison.
You'll learn your lesson.
They have ads like on the Max here. In
Yeah.
Portland,
Oh,
yeah,
with the
they
person
do.
like on their
Yeah.
phone,
What
do
like
they
walking
say?
in front of the
They're
Max.
really
Yeah, they have a
fun.
really punny.
Oh god,
Don't let heavy metal turn into like
into death
into
metal.
death metal.
yeah. Into death by metal. That's what it was.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of random puns like that, but yeah, there's like all their marketing pretty
Don't
much.
let
on them.
LOL turn into DOA.
Yeah.
Just texting on the thing, like walking
So
into an
I
intersection.
mean, like, I
yeah.
think this is its own penalty. I mean, if you do this enough and there's enough things out there that will kill you while you're not paying attention,
Right.
that I don't really know if we need a $50 fine and time in prison.
If that's going to stop them.
Also, there are much worse things than that you can do than text and walk. Why don't we like start jailing people that are like talking in movies or like, I don't know, doing any other thing that's like mildly annoying? Let's start throwing people in jail for that, not texting and walking.
Say talking on the phone on the bus. I brought that up last week. That's one. That should be a jail fine right there.
Yeah, not wearing deodorant at the gym. Talking to yourself in the front of a window. We get a lot of it in Portland.
Burning popcorn. Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
right?
punch you
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the smell.
That
Bringing
should be
fish
a
to
unique
work.
office penalty.
Too much foam at the top of your beer. $50, man.
$50, man. Sorry, you owe me. Yeah, it's 46. Yeah, 4 for the beer.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Maybe we should be regulating these things. We already predicted VR porn. We should be obviously in charge of regulating things.
Did you guys see? This is a totally off the beat
Go for it.
story, but it's related to this. Did you guys see the story about the guy who was he was arrested for a VHS cassette that he had not returned?
Yes.
He rented it 14 years ago. He rented Freddy Got Fingered on VHS.
Oh my god.
Tom Green movie.
got
Daddy, would you
pulled-
like some sausage?
So he got pulled over for a brake light being out while he was taking his daughter to school. And the cop, just went to warn him, but he had a warrant out for his arrest for this missing VHS cassette.
How do you get a warrant for that? I mean,
didn't know
number
that was
one,
possible.
nobody
Just like
wants Freddy Got Fingered. Like, nobody is buying that.
They really wanted that back at the shop?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And they actually, he like turned himself in and they arrested him and then
Yeah.
like, took him to a holding cell or whatever. And yeah, it's outrageous.
What are you in for, man?
Yeah, right. Walk into texting, overdue VHS. Streets are hard these days, man. I don't want to grow up in these,
I still got it. I'm not telling him where it is. Though.
Exactly.
Well, and I guess Tom Green's even getting involved now too.
I saw
Yeah, he like
that.
tweeted about it, right?
Yeah, he was saying he's going to maybe come to the court case.
Oh god,
The
that's gonna
court
be
case.
grace.
Finally, Tom Green's. He waited a decade to reappear.
Right, yeah. He
This is
found
the big
it.
shot.
I just want to see the footage of a judge reading. So says here, Freddy Got Fingered was rented.
What does fingered mean? I don't get the title.
What
Are we
kind of
talking
a
about VR porn or what are we?
Yeah, what kind of a tape is this, sir? Oh man, I mean, I'll admit it, Hollywood. If you want Hollywood Video, if you want to find me, I've still got two or three tapes in my basement.
Where the
that
Blu-rays
have
at?
Hollywood
Like
Video on
waterboarding
them.
you?
Well, because I was talking to this to my friend earlier today. Like, you would go into Hollywood Video and they'd be like, "Okay, do you want to pay some of your overdue fees?" Like, no, because they couldn't make you. Yeah, they couldn't make you. They're like, "Well, I mean, you've got $20 in overdue fees. You want to put any money towards it?" Nope.
Nope. I'm gonna get a Netflix subscription and wait for you to go under. That's what I'm gonna do.
How are you ever going to rent a movie again, Greg?
Right.
Yeah, I know. What are you going to do about this? No, they'd still rent to you. They just be like, nah, not going to do it.
Poor business model.
Really terrible. I think I got my comeuppance because Redbox just charged me $27 for a movie that I forgot to send in. So, yeah.
What was it?
Insidious 2. Terrible movie.
Ooh, that's
terrible,
expensive.
dumb movie.
Yeah,
I didn't even
expensive.
finish the movie, and then I found it in my DVD player, and $27 later. So, learned my lesson on that one. All right, let's see. Finally, let's get to this final topic here, just because I just feel like we have to bring it up, and it is something that we probably could have known was going to happen, and it has to do with Redman and Method Man. See if you can guess what kind of an app they're launching. Well, let's play the guessing game. What product do you think their new
Botany.
app is? Botany's that's in the right vein. More on the end part of that. I guess that's a little broad. Yeah, they've launched a weed app. So
What's it called?
I'm pulling it up here right now. It's from a company called Blaze On, and they're backing it actually, and it's going to be an app that will help you find weed stores wherever you are. Which, if you're here in Portland, or I don't know what it's like in Colorado or Washington where it's legal. I mean, they're everywhere. You don't need it.
But if you're high, like, man, where was that place at? Do you remember where that place is at? No. I have this app, though.
Wait, Redman's got an app. Let me see if I can find that. So
They help you find Cheetos or something, or like something a little bit better. So.
Yeah, so it is going to be launching soon for anybody who is in the market for.
Just seems like a really specific Yelp.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, can we just have that category under Yelp dispensary and then
Green banner and everything.
Don't need a different app.
Right.
It's also, I feel like they're late to the game on this. Like,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but this has existed before. There's like back when the whole Uber for whatever craze was going on, there were like a zillion Uber for pot and weird and booze, whatever you want. Any vice, they'll deliver it to your door.
Well, I think you could just Google and inside Google Maps will
Right.
show up any dispensary around town.
Probably, but somebody's getting
Would you
their
say
money.
that this is a half-baked idea?
Oh. That was a good one.
Yeah, I
That
had
was a
to
good
do
one.
it.
Yeah.
Brandon Witter would be proud.
He would be.
Drew, you've done it again. You wrapped at the end of one episode, now you just left us with that. I don't think we can top it.
No, we can top. We can top it. I got something. For
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
what is this? Oh!
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Show this to the people.
Oh,
This
wow.
has got to be seen.
Get it up close
Rockstar
to
Nibbler.
Get it up.
That
nice
is
and
that
close.
is from my band Courage. We are. It's along the lines of like a Spinal Tap. And yeah.
Just fantastic
That's it,
T-shirt. I love the leopard.
Yeah,
sides,
leopard print.
Like,
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
so
I think
good.
that was from our last show. It was like a year ago that we did one.
Well, you're really rocking
And,
out. Brandon Witter found this online, and
That
he
is
wanted
so
some.
hilarious.
He wanted some answers.
Okay, yeah, it's a couragemusic.com. You can go there, download the albums. Yeah, it's like
Let's throw that up again.
there's a
for
picture of
cameras.
me in tights. The key is like before the shows, we walk around and I have like a permanent marker, and we let people tattoo us for the night. So what's on my right arm, which thankfully is covered up there, would not be good for broadcast.
I was trying to decipher it, but you can't really tell. But
never give my friend Brian a permanent marker while I'm having drinks. It's bad news all around. That is. All right. Well, now I'm red.
I did not know you had that prepared for the end of the show. Well done.
Yeah, that is. I wonder what
Brandon
your
Witter
piece of
would also
paper
be proud
was.
of that.
yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Trends with Benefits. We go live here every week at 2:30 at digitaltrends.com, on YouTube, on Periscope. You can send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. We also have a new show that is on Fridays live at 2 p.m. called Between the Streams with myself and Ryan Juanita. And we talk about pretty much everything that's streaming on television and random crazy things that we'll get into tomorrow. So tune in for that one, too. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll be back next week with another episode.